Yes, indeed. Welcome into another episode of Total Hockey Now here on the Total Hockey Now Twitter and YouTube network. Or maybe not Twitter anymore. That remains to be seen. I am at Pucking Thoughts, Adam Bernard. Man to my left, at Anthony Rivera, 86, or at Ant Rivera, 86. And then the man below me, at Fuzzy Chris 91, Christopher Murray. Chris, Ant, we finally can mock. It's mockey season, baby. We got 3 minutes to go till our first mock draft, and it's going to be a light edition of Total Hockey Now. This is going to be the nuts and bolts of it right here. But we're happy to get the mock draft going after we kind of had the false start last week.
Yeah, very excited for mock draft season. This is going to be a lot of fun. This is where we made a lot of headway last year, although it was Better Hockey Now at the time. We're Total Hockey Now, so come in, join. You could be a part of the drafts as well, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait, man.
I'm excited. That's it. I know it's been a little bit down here. There's no sure, maybe baseball makes you happy. Copa America is done. World Cup is done. Waiting for the Olympics. It's one of those things. Maybe you don't care about summer league for basketball. So at least there's something for us to enjoy now. And it's never too early to start a mock draft. Never too early.
No, it's not. And we're helping to contribute to the data that'll help you down the line here as we do these. And right now we'll be doing them in ESPN. Our feelings have been made known about the ESPN draft platform in the past. We don't love it, but they're the only ones offering hockey right now. So we love you. Once a Yahoo or a Fantrax or somebody else starts offering the mock platforms for hockey, we will switch. But until then, it is ESPN. And in most of these formats, it's forward, defense, goalie. It's not even wing, center. So bear with us until the platforms catch up to the demand for mock hockey platforms. We got a minute and a half to go here. This is going to be, not to say coming in totally cold, but pretty cold here. This is all going to be just guys that are there. We'll see who, jumps on guys, who leaps and bounds and all that good stuff. It's the first one of the season. We're all thinking about the summer. So I got all of the water-related team mascots in there. We got, starting from left to right on the bottom, we got Wild Wing, SJ Sharky, Finn, and why they went with a troll instead of some sort of octopus kind of thing. Buoy for the Kraken. And then, you got Stormy the Pig up there on the upper left-hand side trying to ruin a nice vibe with the Hurricane. And you got Niles, very clever name there for the Islanders mascot, pointing at who he wants to catch. So just, we're trying to have fun here. And the Hurricanes and Islanders have to ruin it as usual. Right, Ant?
Yeah, for sure. Look, guys, this is the first one of the mock draft season. And what's fun about this is anything goes, right? I mean, there's no strategy right now. We're just going to have a little bit of fun here. And we hope that as the season goes along, as the mock season goes along, that more and more people will come in and join us for the fun.
Yes. When we're going to do a little pulling back of the curtain. We're not live this week. Today we're recorded. But yes, when we do these live, when we do a full episode, we'll have, we'll put the link in the chat once it's available. And anybody that wants to join in with us and not be a bot, that would be great. So there you go. But here we go. We're waiting for the platform to pop over, I guess. Let's go. Any time now? There we go. Enter the draft. All right. All right. Draft is about to start. We got a minute and 15 to go down. Anybody? So, I mean, right now, looking at the guys that are going to be in the first round, it's going to be the usual cast of characters at the top: Connor McDavid, Nate McKinnon, Austin Matthews, Mikko Rantanen, Nikita Kucherov, Leon Draisaitl, et cetera, et cetera. It'll be and don't forget, those first couple of mocks, there's always people we forget. There's always, sometimes the ESPN ranking system isn't always the best. And all of a sudden you get a defenseman like Adam Fox in round 8, just because the way the rankings aren't always great. So I'm going to stick off the projected and just go off a 2024 season. That'll help a little bit because I don't believe in projected stats. I want to know what they did last year. I understand team changes and stuff like that. I'll make those determinations on adjustments.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's we'll do this based on what happened last year. Also, let's let everyone know, Adam, you're going third in this draft. We got Fuzzy Chris. We'll have the 8th pick in the draft, and I am going last, so I get to hit that snake going around the corner.
Yeah, since it's just the 3 of us in here, although when I did test this out the other day, there was other humans in the room, so that was encouraging as well. But yeah, we'll we spread it out a little bit so we can control the pacing to a degree. So we don't that. Here we go.
Well, the one thing we know is it'll be super fast because if there's nobody in here, the auto pick is just going to generate it really fast.
I mean, if I got to take Matthews here, he got close to 70 goals last year. You know, I'm going to just ride with that again. And yeah, it moves quickly there. So Nate McKinnon goes first overall over McDavid. I took Matthews at 3. Then you had Pasternak, Rantanen, and Nylander going the next 3 there through 6. And then Nikita Kucherov goes at 7th with Chris on the clock now.
You know, a question for you guys. With the way Nikita Kucherov played last year, are you surprised that he goes after Nylander with these rankings here?
For sure. I mean, he led the league in points last year at 144, and Chris takes Draisaitl there, which is what I would have taken. I mean, I know people are high on Nylander, but maybe they think, all right, is Kucherov really going to put up those kind of numbers again? So maybe that's the thinking there. But, he still goes top 10, so nothing wrong with that. After Draisaitl, Kirill Kaprizov at 9, Brady Tkachuk at 10, JT Miller at 11. Anthony's on the clock now with about 8 seconds to go. Let's see what direction he goes. And he's on the turn, so he's going to get 2 guys here. And I see one guy that I think he's going to take with one of these picks, so we'll see. So he takes Roman Josi. I figured he'd go defense at one of them, and now let's see who he grabs on the turn coming back here. Josi, there's a lot of directions you could go for top defenseman, and he's not a bad way to go. There's maybe not even a lot of directions, maybe like 2 directions you could go. And there it goes. He went the Nashville double dip there with Steven Stamkos. Cale Makar being the other defenseman I was referring to that you could take in the top 2 spots. Then Matthew Tkachuk there goes in pick 3 of round 2. And Sidney Crosby, still a top 25-30 pick there. Going there with the 4th pick in the 2nd round with Chris on the clock. Still some good names on the board. He takes Rasmus Dahlin. We know how he feels about defensemen from previous mocks here on the Total Hockey Now or Better Hockey Now. Then get your defense locked up early because it gets when it drops off from the really good guys to the good guys, that cliff happens quickly. I'm on the clock here. I'll let you guys take it away.
Especially Buffalo defensemen. We heard a lot of good stuff about the Buffalo defensemen from Chris last week. So, Chris,
you can never have too many of them. I mean, I feel like elite. You can find good goal scorers, right? It's really hard to find elite defensemen. So I just feel like I need to lock that up. At least one. I need one of those big 3. And to me, the big 3 are, Roman Josi's in that category, sure. Cale Makar to me. And then Rasmus Dahlin. They're all 3 of those to me are interchangeable wherever you decide to take them. So if you have the opportunity to grab one of those players, you probably should.
You look at Ovechkin going in the 2nd round. You think with another year older, I know Crosby went earlier, but seeing how he played last year, are you surprised that he goes this early?
I think he's got, because the Capitals tried to retool a little bit and actually put a team around him, and he's within strike. He could get Gretzky's goal record in a year, so maybe that gets him going where he's like just on a man on a mission and just starts lighting the lamp again for a season. So I don't think it's I think maybe a little early, but I don't think it's crazy to take a jump on him if you think like, okay, he's gonna get real close to that record. So let's recap a few of the picks since then. I took both. I went with the double dip of Lightning there. Braden Point going to be relied on heavily there to produce more on that same line with Kucherov. Gensel goes a few picks later, as well as Hyman after Ovechkin, and then Mika Zibanejad. And then I take Victor Hedman. Recently got his $32 million 4-year deal as the cornerstone defenseman there for the Lightning. Then you see some wings go with Connor, Forsberg, Vetrano, and Reiner. And then Connor Bedard goes to Chris there. I don't think that's a bad place to get him in round 3.
I wanted Sam Reinhart. I have now been double sniped by the bot. This is a bad start. I've been double sniped.
Yeah.
I'm annoyed.
Yeah, Chris took my pick. I wanted Bedard there. I knew he wasn't going to come that far, so I decided, why don't I take one of his guys? Let me take Nick Suzuki.
There goes Wyatt Johnson. Good pick there. Had a strong season and expected to bounce back. And there goes Noah Dobson. I didn't know if he was going to make it back to me, but that was a guy I was certainly considering there.
You can tell it is the off season because the rankings have no goalies in them until way late. So I'm going to start the trend here.
There you go.
And I'm going to take one of the better goalies in the NHL.
Igor Shesterkin goes there. Maybe a little bit of a snipe trying to take my guy. And listen, I could expose the mock system right now, knowing that goalies are going to go later and try and slow it. We'll try and keep it honest here. There are guys I could take at forward. There's somebody I could take. You know what? No, I lied. I'm going to go. I could go goalie here, but I mean,
you lied. Okay.
Quinn Hughes is still out there, so I mean, I got to take him. I'm sorry.
Quinn Hughes at 57. That's their rank.
I mean, again, this is early in the season, and now I'm back on the clock, and now I'll be a little more honest there. I said I was going to try and lean towards goaltender last time, and Barkov just went, so I'm not going to take him. Connor Hellebuck. I mean, there we go. No problem with him being my franchise cornerstone goaltender there. Again, goalies. Again, this is also the flaw with ESPN is the rankings aren't ideal, but nonetheless, here we are. We're doing mocks. We love doing. It's mocky season. We enjoy doing them. Thank you for tuning in and watching them, and hopefully you get some use out of this.
I'm going to exploit the system. I don't care because you know what I mean. I'm competitive. I'm going to take another goalie. I'm going to take Jake Ottinger here.
He's going to get your wins. He's going to be up towards the top in most of the categories that matter. There goes Dougie Hamilton. That maybe was somebody that Anthony was considering, hoping that he would slide to him, but unfortunately falls just short.
Yeah, that was that's what happens when you have the when you have those auto picks. You don't get some of these players.
They're there. If they're ranked high, they won't get too far past. But he does get Nico Hischier, so he's gonna, a full year of a healthy Timo Meier next to Nico Hischier. You're gonna get even higher results from him.
I feel like it's time for a goalie, and let's keep the theme up with Nashville for me. I feel like it's going to be a big year for Nashville, so I'm taking UC Soros.
Now, there was a couple of guys I was considering that just went off the board. Sebastian Aho in round 6, certainly some good value there, and Adam Fox, absolutely.
I've been sniped 3 times in a row now.
So
are they listening? Does ESPN have access to my computer? What's going on?
Possibly.
All right, I'm gonna take one of the future 40 goal scorer right here. I'm gonna start with that.
I had a feeling you were going to take him when I saw him there, kind of towards the top of the queue.
Smart.
So Fabian Zetterlund, I think that's a little bit early for him. I know he had a good year with the Sharks, but I don't know. I think that's a guy you could wait on here. Let's see. Where am I looking? Forward, skaters. You know what? I'm going to grab Timo Meier here. Bolster my forwards a little bit, try and get in on that Devils top 6. I'm back on the clock again. Now I've got 2 defensemen. I could look at a third here. I like some of the names I see there, but I'm going to take another goaltender here. Andrei Vasilevsky is still sitting out there. I mean, I know I'm a little lightning heavy, but nonetheless, can't pass up a guy like that at this point. There goes Jesper Bratt. So the Devils are going off the board. Brock Nelson, one of the first Islanders taken there. Erik Karlsson, hoping for a bounce-back campaign with Pittsburgh. Even if they lose, he could still produce points. And Kevin Fiala there with the Kings. Chris, back on the clock here. Let's take a look at Chris's roster.
Peter took Kevin Fiala, so I'll go with my second option.
Ooh, there goes Laffy. Good pick. So there we go. He's got Draisaitl, Bedard, Caulfield, and Lafreniere, Igor Shesterkin, and Jake Ottinger. And Rasmus Dahlin, he usually goes heavy defense. He is not doing that now. He is banking on some of the guys being available later, but his crease is short up there. Anthony on the clock here. We'll go over my team quick while he makes his picks. I've got Austin Matthews, Braden Point, and Timo Meier up front so far. Victor Hedman and Quinn Hughes on the blue line. Also, I've got my goaltending short up with Connor Hellebuck and Andrei Vasilevsky. So let's see. Anthony gets Brandon Montour, one of the newest members of the Seattle Kraken there, to start forming his blue line. And he takes Miro Heiskanen. So it goes back-to-back there. He's got Yossi, Montour, and Heiskanen. A good, strong top 3 there for his blue line.
Yeah, it's interesting to see where some of these people are that, you're looking for some of these guys and they're not to be found the way this rankings are going.
I'm going to keep my trend here with guys who barely can drink in the U.S. I'm going to go Brock Faber.
Good defenseman pick there. He's he showed a lot of promise with Minnesota next year. Should take another step up. Definitely not going goaltender here. As much as I like some of the names on the board here, it's time for me to grab the first overall pick, 24 NHL draft, Macklin Celebrini.
Okay.
We said, we talked last week. We thought, I said 4th round initially might be a little early. I think 6th round is a good place to try and snag him if he's a guy you want to have. And listen, I think he's going to get a ton of points there as assists. So that's where I'm heading with that. Let's see here. Let's take a look. Goals matter. Power play points matter. I know you're going to call me crazy, but there goes Drew Doughty to add to my blue line as my 3rd defenseman.
Yeah, that's wild.
Listen, he's going to get me goals from there, which matter in this format, and he gets power play points. So I don't mind having him as my 3rd defenseman.
I don't know how I feel about this player, but I feel like the upside is there, and I mean, I guess I'm going to take Zach Werenski here.
Excuse me, I got Celebrini in the 8th round. I think that's a great place to get him. The draft is flying here. But yeah, I like the Werenski definitely due for a bounce back for sure. Defensemen seem to be going a little bit here. We see Alex Pietrangelo going there. I took Doughty. Darnell Nurse went. Why Darnell Nurse went 2 picks before me, I have no idea. There he is. Anthony back on the clock now.
And he gets Sam Bennett here.
Takes Sam Bennett as his first pick. See where he goes with the back-to-back.
Let's see. Tough decisions.
Nah, they're easy.
All right, so he takes Sharangovich there in Calgary. He's going to be leaned on heavily to produce on a team that doesn't have much offensive firepower there. So certainly, listen, it's not about where they're going to finish in the standings. As long as they're producing, they're going to give him every opportunity to produce.
What an absolute gift this player is going to be here. I don't know how he got here. I'm assuming that's going to change at some point. Brandon Hagel here as the pace that they expect him to be on is 70 points. I feel like that might be a stretch, but 70 points, and that was what, pick 1? That was in the 10th round, pick 5. Okay, I'll take that. Sign me up.
All right, so I'm gonna, I like that William Eklund pick there by the computer. Let's see what I want to do here. I'm going to get Brock Besser here. I know I'm going to deal with the injuries, but, I know he's going to put the puck in the net, and they're going to lean on him again in Vancouver this year. Back on the clock for me there. There goes Sergachev. That was a guy who I wanted for the blue line. Oh, well. Goes 2 picks before me. I got 20 seconds to make a decision here.
I was thinking about Sergachev as well.
That was a guy I wanted to grab.
Yeah.
A little bummed about that. Let's see here. You know what? I'm going to take I get Morgan Riley. I know it's a little early for him, but I know he's going to get me a ton of assists from the blue line and will contribute there. I know he's going to get his points. Chris back on the clock here. I don't love that Morgan Riley pick. I really got thrown off by Sergej. That one threw me.
I'm gonna keep it simple here. Again, guys are just kind of fly under the radar. Pavel Buchnevich
got the big contract. There goes Scheifele. There was another guy that's kind of flown under the radar a little bit to round 11. Marchenko is a guy I've been seeing in the limited amount of mock drafts so far, going like in these like first 12 rounds. Like I guess they're expecting him to take a big leap in Columbus this year, but not a bad place to maybe take a shot on him if you really want there. And there goes Luke Hughes to Anthony and Charlie McAvoy. So rounding out his blue line, let's take a look at that for a second here. You got all 5 defensemen. Because it's a 5 defenseman league, you got to go for him there. And I certainly got a strong 1 through 5 grouping.
I'm a little torn here. Oh, man, I want to believe in him. I want to believe that he's going to pair well with Leon Draisaitl or Connor McDavid. So I'm going to go Jeff Skinner here. I can't imagine him getting worse playing next to arguably the 2 best players in the world.
Yeah.
Listen, I think that's a great pick. I mean, we talked about hitting the over on his goals prop, no matter what it is. I think that's certainly a place to take a stab at a guy like him. and knowing he's probably going to get 30, 40 goals, no problem. I got to make my pick here, and I think I'm gonna go Ryan O'Reilly. I think, because Stamkos is going to get some of the attention as well. I think O'Reilly maybe gets some better matchups at some point, and that leads to more goals for him. There goes Vince Dunn. Damn it. 45-second clock would be ideal, but let's see here. Any forwards that are going? Should I take Joe Pavelski, who just retired? We can talk about that afterwards. I got 10 seconds to make a decision. I'm going to take Noah Hannafin. I think he's going to, he may not run the top power play in Vegas, or maybe he will be this year. I don't know. But, I think that's a solid pick there for, a blue line that's pretty strong. And I know we don't love the plus-minus stat here, but that is something that Vegas does provide.
I want to take a shot here. I mean, they gave him a boatload of money, so I'm assuming they're going to play him just as much as they did last year. And as a fourth defenseman, not bad. Philip Hronek.
He's going to play on that top pairing next to Hughes, so he's going to get, some positive stuff between assists and plus-minus that way alone. Still some quality names here on the board here as we get further in.
Let's go with a guy who just got a contract here in LA, Quentin Byfield.
All right.
Okay.
Listen, 13th round is where you got to start taking your shots on guys you think are going to take a step up this year. And certainly Byfield is a guy that absolutely can take that step this year with LA, and they're certainly expecting him to. One of the things we're going to talk about is Pacific Division odds on the next episode here of Total Hockey Now. And believe it or not, the Kings have better odds than the Canucks. So to me, that means they expect something out of Byfield. The expectations are out of Byfield. Grabbing Matt Duchene there with his second pick. He's coming back on a one-year deal. He had a good season in Dallas.
I'm going to exploit the system. Again, it's a loophole. It's like your taxes. If it's there, take it. Jeremy Swayman.
Yeah, the second that you said that, and I looked at the goalies available, I knew that's what you were doing.
That's fair.
I see Jacob Chikrin going that was a guy I might have considered there as my last as a bench defenseman, but I'm not going to worry about that yet because I do have my 5 defensemen. You got to fill up your forward spots here. Let's see, is there anybody sneaking by me here? I think Matty Beniers. I think he's going to take a step up this year too and start producing even more. So I'm going to grab him there, and I'm back on the clock. And a guy need a third goalie. Talked about, not exploiting the system, but here we are. I mean, I'll take a stab at Ilya Sorokin here. There goes Philip Kurashev. Victor Arvidsson also expected to maybe get a little bit of a boost in points there in Edmonton. Logan Couture, I don't know about the auto pick there. No word on when we're going to see Couture yet with San Jose. But I'm done with goaltenders. I'm looking just at forwards and D-men the rest of the way.
I'm going to take this player who's here for a good time, not a long time. Mark Stone. I feel like that's...
There's nothing wrong with that. He's when he plays, he's going to produce for you, and he's just count on having him as one of your IR spots. That way, your limit, know how many spots you got, and reserve one for him. There's a guy I see that I really want when it gets back to me, if it gets back to me. It's Philippe Deneau. He's back to the second line center after the PL Dubois fiasco.
We're at what? Pick what? 185. We're gonna start taking some chances here. I don't expect the Ducks to be very good, but I gotta feel like Trevor Zegras is gonna turn it around. Like whether it's in Anaheim or it's somewhere else, it's too much skill on that kid to be that far down.
And the guy I wanted is still there, and I'm absolutely going to grab him. I would assume Teuvo Teravainen's going to be on Bedard's right side. Give me that. I'll take that chance. Or if not, at least be on the power play with him and get some points that way. So let me help fill out my forward spots there. I'm back on the clock here. Need some forwards. I probably need another defenseman too on the bench, but Got to look at what forwards are available at this point. I don't know if Trevor Moore is getting back to 30 goals next year. Nichushkin, I just can't. It's just too much of a risk with him. Who knows when he's going to be back? I do like that Jake Neighbors. I'll take a chance on him taking a step with the Blues next year and increasing his production. And then there we got Killorn going after that. Johnny Gaudreau, Tyler Bertuzzi, another guy that might get a crack with Bedard. Chris back on the clock here.
He can't be that bad, right? He can't be an absolute like walking trash can anymore. So Pierre-Luc Dubois.
I mean, he's gonna get every.
Does anybody have any confidence in him? Because I've been burned, but I'm back.
You're back for more.
All right.
Not a bad guy to take a shot on.
Pressure makes diamonds.
Correct. And with Ovechkin in the room, maybe that'll help him a little bit too. See, now we're starting to get down to the depths of the draft here. So
yeah, I'm gonna take a chance. I'll go Adam Fantilli.
I like that. I think that's a strong move. You know, year 2, he's gonna be one of the top 2 centers there. Him and Shaw, probably top center, and Monahan will be the second center with Gaudreau there. Pair them together. But yeah, another year for Fantilli should get even better.
Let's go Nick Schmaltz.
Okay, you know, and although you know in his Arizona years, always a solid pick, always produced, gets overlooked. I think should be even better with Utah this year. An improved blue line will hopefully help things all around. So Chris is back on the clock here.
I know some people don't like to pair players from the same team. I'm gonna do it. Right? I played enough DFS that I'm willing to do it. I'm gonna take Owen Power here.
I don't mind it as long as it doesn't go too deep with with one team. But I think the fact that you have the Sabres, puck moving defensemen both locked up, I think that's pretty good.
This could be a progression year for him.
I think I love the Jake DeBrusk signing in Vancouver. That's who I'm taking here. I think he'll get the pucks in the net too. He'll do his job there. So I got DeBrusk there around 18, and I'm very happy with that. Let's see here. Looking at my roster, let's see. What else do I need? Got 4 bench spots left. Figure I got to do at least one of those as a defenseman. I don't want to wait too long to address that defense bench defense spot. Going to be interesting to see. Let's see. Power play points. Listen, I'm going to go with take a shot here with Shane Gostisbehere. Carolina brought him in to run the power play. That's basically what he's going to do, and that's where he's going to make his bread and butter. And that's a guy I don't mind throwing in occasionally here and there.
We're going to take a stab here. I feel Colorado has no depth. We saw that, but can they really run their top line again like 28 minutes a night? So I'm going to take an opportunity here on Ross Colton. I just like his upside a little bit more.
There goes Tom Wilson, everybody's favorite player. Cole Perfetti, love that auto pick there. That was a guy I was considering at my next pick. You're starting to get down the line here with the forwards. Starting to get a little bit. Nobody wants to take Jonathan Huberdeau. No one take Huberdeau?
Yeah, no thanks. Not that again. That's for sure.
Not that again.
Aaron Ekblad there. He's filling out his blue line. Good. There goes Blake Wheeler. Ooh, Luke Evangelista, a guy who's probably going to play on a line with Stamkos. There goes that. Chris back on the clock here. Not going to take Joe Pavelski.
This is definitely too many players. That's for sure. We're like in the depths right now.
Yeah, we are in the depths, but that's where you start to learn where some of these guys go.
You know what? At 233, I'll take Jonathan Huberdeau.
There you go. That's
you go.
That's the spirit.
Can't be worse than what he did last year, right?
All right, so we got a bunch of guys moving off the clock there. I got 2 ways I can go here, and I'm hoping to get them both. First, I'm going to take is Mason Marchment because he showed a lot of promise with Dallas last year with his opportunities. He had 50 points last year. To have even more this year, so I'll grab him there this late in the draft. And then I'm back on the clock. Am I going to get my guy? Yeah, listen, let's face it. It's not going to be much offense in the island, but Anthony Duclair is going to have to be a guy that puts the puck in the net for them and play in the top 6. So as a bench player this late in the draft, Sure, why not?
Yeah, I got my guy lined up here.
I have to decide if I want to have. So I got what 3, 4. I got a goalie, defenseman. I probably should go forward from either bench.
Just
spot.
a fun fact here: round 21, pick 4, team 4 has drafted Craig Anderson. The things you love to see in July when it comes to mock. Sorry, I'm going to take Gabriel Velarde. He had 22 goals in 47 games on an 82 pace. That's 35 plus. I'm in.
There goes Yaroslav Halak.
There goes Yaroslav. There we go. Brian Elliott. Jeff Glass. We are learning some names here.
All right, Jake. The fact that Jake Allen and Yaroslav Askarov are still sitting out there. Jordan Binnington's still out there. There goes Jacob Markstrom this late in the draft. That is exposing the system, my friend.
He was way down there in the Devils rankings. I don't know what happened here.
That's exploiting the system. I love it. All right.
That's how you get these late. That's how eventually the rankings will catch up as guys like us do them. So
Colorado needs a second line. Casey Middlestead, come on down.
All right. I would. That's a good pick there. I like that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
If they're this late in the draft, I have a guy I have my eye on. Let's see.
You can't take Anton Hudobin. He's been taken. I know.
Now I'm struggling. You know what? Maybe Vladimir Tarasenko. He's going to get some goals. Detroit. Why not?
Definitely. Yeah, he definitely will.
Antti Niemi as well taken. Martin Jones finishes out the draft. Just things you love to see.
I didn't even know Niemi was still in the league.
He I don't think he is.
All right,
is it the Yahoo leagues that actually gives you like a pre-grade grade? I can't remember what draft website. It would always give you like a pre-grade as what you did. This one doesn't do it, but
not so much. But yeah, we'll take a look at my team here first, since that's what's up on the screen. We got Austin Matthews as my first pick, Braden Point, Victor Hedman. I think I got a strong top 5 right there. Yeah, we'll even call it that 6-pack right there. That's a good way to build a team there.
Yeah.
Then we go down. Got goaltending short up with Vasilevsky. Macklin Celebrini, got him in round 8. Certainly happy with that. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But sometimes you got guys you want to get, and that's a good spot to take them. Maybe a little early on Doughty, but a well-rounded defenseman there. Besser with the goal scoring, Riley with the power play points and the assists. Ryan O'Reilly should hopefully get a little bit more this year, which because they were a 1-line team that last year, and now Nashville's a 2-line team. And then once you get to this point in the draft, it's guys you got good feelings on, or guys with upside. And I think I did a nice balance of getting some of that and some guys who are established producers as well. So I'm certainly happy with that there. Let's look over here at Chris's side. I don't know if you got it on the screen, if you want to share, or I could just zoom in over here on this guy.
I do have. So I took Leon Draisaitl and then Rasmus Dahlin. What an awesome pick. Connor Bedard, and then I found the cheat in the system. So I took Igor Shesterkin and Jake Ottinger back to back. Things you love to see. Cole Caulfield, Alexi Lafreniere, Brock Faber. I mean, those guys are under 23. That's pretty good. Zach Werenski, Hagel, Buchnevich, Jeff Skinner. I'm interested to see how that goes. I like, can Jeff Skinner be like a cheat version of Zach Hyman? Like, I don't know, because Zach Hyman understands his role and he knows what he has to do. I don't think Jeff Skinner's the same type of player, but I feel like Jeff Skinner has more skill, or at least more finish. So maybe if you get some of that power play time, I don't know who you're bumping off that top unit. That I think might limit his upside, but you didn't bring, like, he went there and Edmonton didn't bring him in there to sit. So I feel like they're going to give him the opportunity that he needs. And then we're just taking some shots here. Philip Hronik, Mark Stone, who knows about his back, Zegras, Swayman, Pierre-Luc Dubois, the nemesis, Owen Power, Ross Colton. Owen Power, Ross Colton, 2 picks that I really like. Jonathan Huberdeau, hate it, but it is what it is. I had Pierre-Luc Dubois and Jonathan Huberdeau on one of my teams last year. Don't ask me how that went. Massive upside with Gabriel Velarde and then Casey Middlestead, because, again, somebody in Colorado has to score goals outside of that top line. Somebody has to do it.
So there you go. Chris running through his draft there. Solid team all around. Draisaitl, he's it's going to be the story all year. He's in a contract year, so
Contract year players love to perform. I don't like if I could find you know what? Well, no, not really. I was gonna say I could check Cap Friendly, but I can't. I was gonna be like, I'm sure there's a list of like players in their contract years, right? That I could like sort like an Excel sheet and then just not give those players a boost in rankings, but just like a little, like, I don't know, like a little star next to them, just so you know that they're in a contract year. Because there's nothing a player loves more than just producing in a contract year to collect his bag. So if you have to pick between two players and you're absolutely torn, guy with a contract year is probably hitting some numbers.
That's usually the way to go. So there you go. So there's Chris's team, gave my team, man. Let's go into your team a little bit here.
I'm going to try to present. I don't know if I'm able to do that, if I could share the screen.
All right, let's give it a shot. Let's see if you're allowed.
This works. Did that do it?
There we go.
There we go. Okay. Yeah. First two picks, obviously going Nashville with Roman Yossi and Steven Stamkos. I'm hoping that Stamkos gets a little bit reinvigorated playing down in Nashville with this new team. Took Nick Suzuki, and I think one of my favorite picks is Wyatt Johnston with my fourth pick there. Obviously, I had to get my guy Nico Hischier in there. UC Soros, I like. Brandon Montour, Heiskanen, and on defense, you got Sam Bennett there. I guess I'm taking a little bit of a chance on Igor Sharangovich. He had a good year last year, so let's see what comes from that. Luke Hughes, hoping that he takes another step. You got Charlie McAvoy as well on defense. Like I said, Quentin Byfield just got the contract, so let's see how he plays. Duchesne. No one touched Bobrovsky, which I'm surprised at. I was a little hesitant because all this playing over the last 2 years of being in the Stanley Cup. I wonder if he'll get worn out, but he was there, so I took him. Hoping Philip Deneau also has a rebound after, as you mentioned, they got rid of Pierre-Luc Dubois. I do kind of like this Adam Fantilli pick. I know he's on Columbus and they stink, but you never know, right? With these guys. Nick Schmaltz, Keandre Miller, also on the bench, and Aaron Ekblad for defense, Brett Pesce. And I don't know how Jacob Markstrom went all the way to the bottom there, but even in the rankings, he was below Jake Allen. So that tells you a lot right there.
Yeah, that's a steal there. And to go back to what you were talking about with Sharangovich, he's going to be their second line center, or projected to be, but he's going to run the point on the power play on the first unit, and he's going to be on the penalty kill unit. So he's going to get a lot of opportunities. He's going to get a lot of ice time. He's give you the chance for a shorthanded point. He gives you a chance for a power play point. So again, like, it's, sometimes you pass on guys, you overlook guys, because that team stinks, but like, they still have to score. Somebody on the team's going to have to score goals. Somebody on the team's going to have to get assists. So, and that's the same kind of philosophy with Fantilli. He's going to be a top six center. We'll see who's going to be flanking him, because Monahan and Gaudreau are going to be reunited. But there's nothing wrong with taking those guys. I mean, in some leagues, maybe the minus is going to hurt you if that's a category. But honestly, if that is a category in my league, that's the one I usually punt anyway. I usually don't really care too much about that.
If you are playing in a league that has plus minus, you need to jump into like 2024, 25. We are there. You may want to take out your CD player from your car. You may want to upgrade to like high-speed internet from dial-up that you may have. There is no reason to care about the plus minus. It is a meaningless stat, and it is invented so that players can go and get more money. That's it. I'm plus 37 on my team. Great. It's a team stat. It's useless. So don't worry about that. I hate the plus minus.
Tell me how you really feel.
Yeah. If there's any takeaways from this first mock episode, it's plus minus out the
Anytime
window.
anybody asks me a question, yeah, but his plus minus, I'm like, am I worried about Ovechkin's plus minus? Is that what you're telling me? All those years he was scoring 50 goals. You think I'm worried about where his plus minus? Yeah, he's gonna have a terrible plus minus. He's always on the ice when his team is trailing. Like Connor Bedard's plus minus is bad. Yes, because he's gonna be on the ice late in the game trying to score a goal for his team. I don't care.
The only time it paints a picture is at the, as we've discussed in the past, is at the extreme ends. If you're a plus 80, you're doing a lot right. If you're a minus 60, maybe
like if you were Jonathan Huberdeau last year, then it was a problem because the rest of your team was like, okay, decent, and then there was you. And you're like, okay, well, what's wrong with you? But those are few and far in between exceptions. In fantasy, it's almost irrelevant. Do not worry about the plus minus. Please do not ask me if I think this player is worth it because of his plus minus. That's all I'm saying.
I will say this, going 12th, there's always some sort of strategy, especially in the snake when you're going back and forth. But when there are 8 other participants that are auto, it really does not help the cause there. Everyone just gets taken.
I got sniped five rows in a row. I would have had a very different middle of my draft. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with like Caulfield and Lafreniere and Faber and all those guys that I took. I would have gladly taken them. But I got a lot of players that were just taken out of my the palm of my hands.
I'm surprised you didn't adjust from there because you knew they were going.
I was already tilted at that point. By like snipe number 5 in the middle of July, and we're sniping 5 in a row. Like we don't have a plan yet for that. I am happy to know that both of you are still very aware that I like to take defensemen early. It's been a full 12 months, but none of you have forgotten, and I like that, but I also don't because now you're on to me.
Yeah, no. Well, listen, we pay attention here. We give good advice, and we learn that good advice, and it's not just it's amongst each other too. So, yeah,
well, when you're going through the top 12. Once you get through those guys, if you're in the bottom of that, you're not getting one of those top defensemen if you don't take them right away.
Yeah, with a 12-team draft, you're looking at, you don't get a defenseman somewhere by round 3 or so, you're not going to have one of those bona fide top guys. I'm upset about Sergachev. I really, he was in my mental queue, and then I forgot about him, and then when he went, I was like, that would have been a good pick.
Me too. I saw him.
Is that where you drafted Morgan Riley? Like, was that the tilt, and then you're just like, I'll take Riley, I guess? Like that's like that fall off.
I'd have to go back and look. Let me check here.
I just feel like that was the fall off because I know you took Morgan Riley through no excitement, and I remember being in that spot where you take a player and you immediately regret the decision, like a fraction of a second after you've pressed draft.
Yeah, Sergachev went 2 picks before. Sergachev went 2 picks before when I took Riley. Oh. So yeah, that definitely threw that. At that point, I was like so locked on like, all right, I got to grab a defenseman here. Yeah, Devin Taves, Luke Hughes, Charlie McAvoy, Brent Burns. Those guys all go at Brady Shea, Vince Dunn. I should have taken any of those guys before Riley, but hey, it happens.
Yeah,
it happens. But yeah, that was a good mock to kick things off. Maybe next week we'll do hopefully a little bit. Maybe we don't go into the 200s or the deep into the 200s with the picks. We'll figure out the mocks as we go. And again, when we're back live and we're doing these, we'll drop the link in the chat. That way, if you want to join in and be one of the participants, usually have about a 5 or 6 minute heads up on the room. You can join in and help us out. We love that, and we love having other people there. Yeah, that wraps up Summer Mock 1. We'll have a number. It's Mocky season. We'll have a different one each week here. We'll change things up for Mock 2. I actually took that picture. That's Bora Bora. That's Otumanu, the mountain there. So I stayed in one of those huts that was on my honeymoon with my wife, and I would go back there right now if I could. But
were all the mascots there with you too?
No.
Okay.
I thought it would ruin the vibe of the honeymoon to have a lot of big guys walking around in mascot costumes. I would have enjoyed it. I don't know how much my wife would have enjoyed it.
It would have been so hot wearing those costumes in that heat.
Oh yeah. It's a pleasant heat. It's not like what you guys are experiencing in the eastern portion of the country right now.
No. That's why I got my air conditioner. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's on. My fan on right here. So
it's been good the whole episode. So we're okay there. We're doing great. And yeah. This is it's a shortened edition of Total Hockey Now this week. We're going to be back with you with a full episode next week for you. We wanted to get our first mock in since we kind of whiffed on that last week, so we got that in for you this week. Next week we'll talk Pacific Division odds. We'll talk about Jacob Markstrom and where he ranks among the goaltenders. A little fantasy focus. But Until then, for at Ant Rivera 86 and at Fuzzy Chris 91, Christopher Murray, my line mates, I'm at Puck and Thoughts Adam Bernard. Be back with you next week with an all new episode of Total Hockey Now and live here on the Total Hockey Now Network.